Good morning, and it's the 17th of December. Goodness me, where did that all of a sudden go to that we are the week before Christmas Eve? Incredible, isn't it? And it's good morning, Claire. Goodness me, I've been waiting with bated breath for goodness knows what today. So I hope you've had a good week, and I know you're going to be taking some time off, Claire, which is great. And I think we all need it. I'm having to take Monday off now, but I'm working Tuesday and then I'm off after Tuesday. Good morning, Deirdre. Nice to see you. So today's live is all about, will you be a 2.0 version of yourself in 2022? And I've got to give full credit for this idea to the lovely Vicky Stanton, because I'm part of Vicky's mastermind group. In fact, I must tag her when we finish this. Part of Vicky's mastermind group, which I found enormously useful to focus on my business this year. And we were doing a planning activity at our last mastermind of the year on Tuesday. And one of the questions was, imagine it's the 31st of December 2022 and you're looking yourself in the mirror. What is that person going to say to you? You've had a great year. Did you do what you planned? Have you designed your business for maximum success in 2022? Or did you just coast along and be full of great intentions as you always had? Does that resonate? And it really hit me between the eyes that actually I started to think about the fact, if I start now and map out the whole year, there's an ambitious thought, everybody. Map out the whole year as far as my marketing for my business, planning for my business is concerned. And that, so what we came up with was 3 specifics that I wanted to make changes for in 2022. And do you know what it was? Breaking it down just into 3 things, into 3 things, made it really easy to start and think about, because I was thinking, okay, well, the 3 things are, I'm going to do a 5-day mini course in March. Definitely going to do that. I'm now going to amalgamate my Social Media with Confidence course into Social Media for Grown-ups so people get even more value. So I'm in the process of starting to re-record that. And I'm also looking for more one-to-one training clients. So having 3 things and then starting to work back from that made it really easy to do. And I would suggest to you, as I have said a couple of Fridays, sorry I wasn't here last week, I was pretty unwell with that booster jab, but at least I've had it. Good morning, Anne, nice to see you. Is take a long, hard look at what have you accomplished this year? What could you do now that will make next year better on your social media activity? Is that changing your imagery? I was talking to somebody the other day and she was asking me for some advice on her social media, and I said, really simply, your graphics have got far too much text in. It's really difficult to read on a phone. You're losing the impact. You're better off having 1 sentence. And she went, oh my goodness, I'd never thought about it like that. Take a long, hard look, everybody, at what have you been doing on your social media activity? What has worked really well? Now, I've created a client list of people who've worked with me in different capacities. So I've got people who've done one-to-one training, online program members, and clients who've just booked a strategy session or then gone on to social media managers. 3 different perfect client avatars. And on Wednesday, I started working through that list, sending those clients a personal email to ask them how their year had been, with hoping that the work we'd done together had been successful for them and useful, and letting them know as a valued client that I will be putting my prices up in January. However, as a valued client, I was giving them the opportunity to access my expertise at a preferred client rate for any bookings to the end of January. Do you know what it was? I sent, not loads, because I was quite choosy, I think 15 emails, and I got 1 phone call straight back. Guy said, this is so odd, Karen. I was just thinking about you. I could really do with you to kickstart the year for me. Can we book something in? Just like that. Sometimes it's just about putting yourself out of your comfort zone and making a few changes. The easy thing to do, everybody, is to stay where you are. Sit tight. I don't know, with Boris and whatever so out, there's a lot of people cancelling their plans. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a slurp. And I really feel for everybody that's going through that. I think we're seeing my in-laws on Monday, and they keep sending pictures through of lateral flow tests. Having had COVID, I've got immunity for a number of months. You've got to have something, haven't you, when you've had it? And I think you've got this opportunity to think about your business. Where do you want it to be this time next year? Do you want to be sitting this time next year going, do you know what it is? I listened to Karen's lives and I wish I'd made some changes. I wish I'd invested a bit more in my learning. And regret doesn't help us. So we have an opportunity now to make some changes. So whether that's something as simple as setting a recurring reminder for a monthly review of your social media numbers. I've set up a quarterly review of my Google Analytics as a quarterly task. All of this I've done on the back of our session on Wednesday, thinking what I could do to make things even better next year. So what can you do? Could you maybe diarise recurring blocks of time to work on your social media content? And understanding that your content is a moving thing. It's not static. It's got to change. It's got to have some differentiation. If you're part of a business that has a lot of competitors, then make sure that you are really crystal clear about what your differentiation is. Why would somebody use you rather than somebody else? And that's really important. And Deirdre, I know with you, yours is particularly around your stories, and that's a really strong one. And I think we all need to have clarity, absolutely clear, and set yourself a task, set yourself a reminder, reach out to somebody like me who's happy to help you and support you, and just bite the bullet and do it. Because if you could engage with, here's a question for you, everybody, if you could engage with one new client as a result of doing your lives, yes, it is a long game. Absolutely, Neil. And I totally try. Yes, keep it up. Keep going. And perfect example of that, Neil, you'll like this one. I got a booking about 3 weeks ago for my January social media course, which is a condensed version of my year-long program. And it came as an inquiry through my website from somebody I'd never heard of, but they're actually a local business based here in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, where I'm based. Well, I'm not actually in the town, but that's my nearest town. And she said to me, you keep popping up on my timeline, but then I saw your live and I liked the way you spoke. So, Neil, why don't you guys apply for LinkedIn Live? I don't see anybody else that does what you do, offers the services that you offer, and do a live. Questions you always wanted to ask somebody but were afraid to ask. You could have some real fun with it, show the personality that sits behind the business. Because when you have a service-led business, it's really important that you get your personality across, because if you don't, they'll go to somebody else who can get their personality across. So service-led businesses, particularly products, are slightly different. So I did decide that we would have a bit of fun today because it is the last one of the year. So these are my special glasses, and I would wear them for the whole session, but I'm not going to because they slide off. They're not, as you can see, they're not a quality piece of merchandise. But if you can do something that will show personality to your potential clients, absolutely, because video is key and really interesting. And I will share this with you all because you're kind enough to join me today, my last live of the year. I'm in a group with other social media trainers, private group that I pay to be in. And the people that run it put a post in about what do you think is going to be the game changer? What's going to make you stand out as an influencer, somebody with authority on social media? Every single person, video, lives. It's not difficult to do. Even somebody from Newcastle can do it. That called Karen. You know, my husband's just walked in and just shook his head. Actually, that's interesting. So think about mixing it up a bit, having some changes to the way in which you show your business personality, because above all, we need to engage, build, know, like, and trust with our audience, because if we don't, they're not going to work with us. He's just shouting, sorry. He's getting ready. It makes me feel really bad. He's getting ready to go to the gym. But can you build know, like, and trust any other way? Because the truth is, unless you have got phenomenally engaging images that's going to draw my eye, video is the way forward. Because the minute somebody starts talking in a way that might be interesting, different, engaging about their topic, you're more likely to stop and listen. And that's really important. Now the cat starts shouting. Honestly, it's just, you couldn't make this up, could you? So my tips for you are: take a long, hard look at what's worked, hasn't worked. Set out your big picture. What do you want? You must know. You're all sensible business people, excuse me. You must know what you want your business to accomplish in 2022 when we're sitting on the 17th of December. You must know that. So break it down into bite-sized chunks. Okay, at the end of 2022, this is what I want to have accomplished. I've even given my year a theme. My theme for next year is growth. And that's because I've just taken on an associate to help me with my social media management side, so I can focus on the stuff I love, which is the training. And I've this year invested a lot in my own personal development, working with some influencers in different social media topics, so I can pass on all of that learning to my wonderful clients, because that's really important. Because all of us are always learning and growing our skills. You wouldn't keep going to a hairdresser if she just didn't upskill herself and was still doing the same haircut she did in the 80s. You wouldn't do that, would you? We all upskill. We're all changing. And you need to get that across to your clients. You need to make it really clear to them that you are at the forefront of what you do. Understand your differentiation. Look at your numbers. It's so important. That's great news, Neil. Yeah, absolutely. And it is scary, but we've got to put ourselves out there. So my focus for 2022 is training. And what I'm doing is I'm looking to do more one-to-one training, looking at strategy, helping people build their plans. Now, if you know anybody in business who's really struggling with their social media, I have got one place left for a case study on my New Year Club. Now, this will be a half-price place in return for a case study. So if you have a friend who runs their own business that really is struggling, doesn't really get it, it's 6 weeks, but it's very interactive, even though it's all online. We have lives, we have live Q&As. All the training's delivered online, of course, but there's going to be a Facebook group where we have lots of interaction, extra tips. So if you know anybody in business who's struggling a bit with the social media, or you feel as though you could do with a refresh, one place left with a case study rate, and it's an absolute bargain. So if you want to get in touch with me today, please do so. I'm around until Tuesday, end of business. Have a fabulous Friday, and I just got to say it, do it again, haven't I? Because I know I like to entertain you lot. So, wishing you all a very happy Christmas, and most importantly, healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year. And thank you, everybody, for all of your support and for joining me. Claire, back at you. You have been my most regular live. I need to get a little trophy for you, I think. Live attendee of the year. But thank you, everybody, for joining me. It's great to see you all, as always, and keep safe. And I'll see you on the other side, back here on the 7th of January. Take care.